Hey, what's up everyone? We're back in Warhammer 2. I'm playing with the Skaven here. I do have Lord Skrolk, a Doom Wheel, Rat Ogres, a whole bunch of clan rats, and yeah, we're going to be coming up after the High Elves here. I also have some Death Runners, I believe. Oh no, it's just standard clan rats. Looks like they don't have... Huh, could have sworn they had more armor and equipment than that. Looks like they're really ragtag. But yeah, they are pretty dirt cheap. So I got those guys intermixed with some storm vermin, so a little bit more scary. So the sword and shield version, big bucklers there, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's going to be the meat of my big rush build, and then I have, of course, the notorious Skaven slaves armed with little, well, I was going to say a butter knife, but these things are pretty scary. But nonetheless, the slaves are going to melt rather easily. And on the flanks, I have some Skaven slave spears just to guard. So yeah, big tanky Skaven build in the center. No artillery or other shenanigans besides maybe a couple more elite units. So Storm Vermin with halberds in the back. Cluster of Rat Ogres, and like we said, Skrolk and a Doom Wheel. And that's because we're going to be going up against the High Elves who are going to start to unleash against me. Figured I wanted to do a rush build. It looks like the enemy has planted themselves in the field here. Going to be an interesting kind of box formation, which is pretty dope to see. In that, I just love seeing the mass ranks of men here on all fronts with one of these just standard archers. The rest are going to be Lothern Sea Guards, which are fairly competent in melee. And so they're just going to be unloading. He also has the Eagle Bolt Thrower. And all of that going to be trying to tear into my front lines. And it looks like it's doing just that. He also has, breath attacks, all kinds of stuff getting off of my front lines. Really melting my units, but the horde is endless here. And like I was saying, does have the ability to regen some of his guys with the Lore of Life, and then the dragon's able to do a lot of damage. So as I close, a lot of my slaves are going to break just upon making impact. But I have Skrolk here coming in and regenerating, or not regenerating, I should say. He's going to be spawning several clan rats, so that's just going to be to buff up and swarm around the front lines. And then we're going to commit across this tight cluster. I did throw some Skaven slave spears into Swordmasters of Hoth. He's going to melt that quite easily, but it is going to reveal some dragon princes around the side, so I do have to send some of my rat ogres over here to try and tie those down. But let's watch as... the buttholes of the elves here are going to be puckered somewhat in the sense that I'm completely surrounding them, or I will be soon. But if anyone can hold, it's going to be the Sword Masters and the Dragon Princes, which are looking really glorious. Always love the color scheme on them. And yeah, with the surrounding dragon support and Frostheart Phoenix, they should be doing pretty well. Here comes the Rat Ogres swarming around, and I was trying to get into the back with this little Doom Wheel, and something someone pointed out recently, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there's actually rats running along the side of this Doom Wheel helping to make it work, and I never actually noticed that before. That was pretty awesome. But anyways, I'm going to be tanked out and caught up by this prince who's casting all kinds of abilities to try and take me out. That's okay, it's just going to buy me time to really cleave into his front ranks. I'm having all kinds of stuff triggered on him, Wither, to drop the armor on a whole bunch of units. And yeah, we're essentially going to eat these guys up, and I love the animations on the Rat Ogres, picking up those Lothern Sea Guard and pummeling them, body slamming them, throwing them over their heads. With the Lore of Life, he's actually able to support somewhat, and this is the problem you get in Skaven. If you can't overwhelm, you can't see off the enemy, then you get to a standstill, and then this is where the tankiness of the enemy, like the High Elves, might be enough to see you off. So we'll see if I have enough sustain here before I break and chain route. The main issue for me is going to be this Frostheart Phoenix that has the ability to terrify my guys and is really not taking much damage. I'm throwing some Skaven slave spears, Storm Vermin, and more slaves. Storm Vermin with halberds, so a decent amount of units that should be able to get kills off of him. But really, this thing is super tanky, and it's armored, and I think it has some physical damage resistance. But anyways, it's going to be tanking it out, in part due to this mage with the Lore of Life, who's kind of trying to wade through here, being unopposed. And Skrolk is saying, enough is enough. Where is he? He's going to try and wade out of this combat, because I see... Actually, let me pop out of this and see where he's at. Oh, there he is. Okay, so he already made his way to this little wizard, just because I figured I couldn't have him healing up this whole time, or have her healing up the key units this whole time, otherwise it would never be the end of it. So Skrolk is going to go after her. I do have Libra Bubonicus that I can pop on other units, and then here comes gloriously the Doom Wheel coming into the back, having somehow escaped a dragon, because the dragon got distracted there. And now he's going to be doing a great job. This is why you always bring a Doom Wheel if you ever expect there to be big clusters of infantry, because it just helped me shatter this force. Charging into the back, and he's going to continue to do that, really break the spine of these elves who are otherwise going to be holding out for a long time. So here you go, getting into the mix and just plowing on through. My guys who are routing are going to come back, which is going to be, you know, the story of Skaven. And here I get a Luber Bubonicus, second one on the Prince. It's really going to scare him. And he's going to try and target perhaps this blob here with a lot of flames. That does quite the amount of damage. And yeah, this Frost Heart Phoenix still with a lot of health, so he could perhaps still pull this out. He has a couple units routing in the distance. He has his mage, the Lore of Life here, who can heal up on various units, so I gotta be worried. Dragon Princes with 100 kills are gonna start to see off my cheap units, and this is gonna be one of the last of the clan rats that I can raise up. I was trying to catch this prince, but he's gonna be able to disengage and really kill my guys. So now like I said, we passed the first crux, which is like, can I sustain and break the enemy's back before my guys started to rout? I got a little bit of routing, but with the return of the Doom Wheel and Lord Skrulk and his abilities, we were able to break up that elven blob of infantry. And so now we're kind of in the pursuit, but victory is still not ours. There are a couple elite units still alive, Dragon Princess, Frostheart, and the dragon over there in the distance. So I still gotta be a little careful. And this is where I pop Rod of Corruption, knowing that I have to deal with the remainder of the stuff here. He does pop Flesh to Stone with the surrounding mage with the Lore of Life, getting more power reserve, so he can really help heal up his guys. This could be bad for me, although I do have a ton of units just rampaging through the fields, and I love the animation on the Rat Ogres here. That dragon, not quite sure who he can engage. He's going to tell these elves that, you know, you're goners. And the archers are going to try and make it back home, but it looks like they're heading into Greenskin territory. So they better pray to their gods that they can make it out of here. It's hard not to stick out in the Badlands like this, in this beautiful shiny armor that you probably have goblin scouts seeing these guys from miles away. So I'm going to leave them to their fate. I'm going to turn back around to try and help out with the front ranks. A couple elves did turn back around. And the dragon is recommitting, trying to save his men. So now two of these flying terrors are going to be pretty tough. But Lord Skrulk is very much a beast himself, especially with his Rod of Corruption and other things they can get off, and especially the Luber Bubonicus I'm going to get here. Really going to be dropping this prince down. And with Rat Ogre is going to be grappling at its neck, tearing at its spines, its scales, etc., bashing into it. I would say its days are numbered. Ooh, a Rat Ogre does go down. It's got a nice view of the action. Looks like he's calling it quits. Gonna try and pull out of this fight while he's still can, I believe. Yeah, Deadly Onslaught, Flesh to Stone. So this mage with the Lore of Life really helping his guys out. He is cracking some more Skaven slaves. These Rat Ogres going to be pursuing just as this plane is trying to take off, and it looks like he gets to the end of the runway and makes it off. Flesh to Stone still popped, but with that I do believe my opponent calls it quits. Yeah, we're here at 0101. Or 01, yeah. So that's it. My opponent, with the loss of his lord, is going to tap out. Yeah, Frostheart was still there, but it was just about wavering. So that was a pretty good battle. Overall, the Elven Blob, I think, was a bit too blob. The benefit to that is, yeah, he was able to button up his sides, but it meant that when I got in there, I could get a complete surround. I could get Rod of Corruption off very efficiently, Wither off efficiently, and all kinds of area effects and splash damage. So that was a little bit risky, and I don't think the dragon was used that efficiently. He should have been focused on sniping Lord Skrulk with that dragon, perhaps tried to double team with the Frostheart Phoenix or done something. But overall, Swordmasters did well. Spearmen, maybe not the best of investments. Same thing with Lothern Seaguard. I would recommend against Skaven. I mean, if you just mass Swordmasters of Hoeth with maybe a Phoenix Guard, and you don't even need archers. I mean, they're not going to do much. Skaven's going to be up in your face anyways. The archers aren't going to get that much done, so I would focus in terms of taking out Skaven, Swordmasters of Hoth, they're almost always going to pay for themselves. And if you're at all worried about rat ogres or doom wheels knocking you about, then you just invest in dragon princes, because those can more than easily take those guys out, or at least nullify them. And then your main objective after that is going to be going after the Lord Skrulk. If you can snipe him or take him out, it's exactly what you should be trying to do with your flying lords, etc. And I do approve of this mage with the Lore of Life, just makes everything more tanky. And if you do roll with the dragon princes and some of the high tier monsters, definitely want to be popping Flesh to Stone and Regrowth on them. So overall, generally in the right direction, but my advice, like I said, would be to ditch the ranged fire and try and just counter Skaven on the ground there. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.